The buried fortunes of the Pharaohs. The mysteries of gold's secret in the profundities of Old Egypt. The lost fortunes of the Pharaohs are perpetual, and they are typified in different investigations through reality, including the insider facts of gold's secret in the profundities of Old Egypt, where 2 complete burial chambers were found containing the biggest parts of gold viewed as on the planet, which are extremely valuable, and were utilized for different purposes other than decoration. The old Egyptians found the Turin papyrus, which prompted the distinguishing proof of 23 mother lodes. These mines are viewed as one of the fortunes of the Pharaohs and the start of grasping the mysteries of gold's secret in the profundities of Old Egypt, and the bodies and bones of the divine beings were made of gold, as it was viewed as a strict image, and most of mines were found in the eastern desert. The mine was known as Nob. Thus the spot was called Nubia due to the huge presence of nobs. Gold was not utilized in that frame of mind of painstaking work for improvement, yet in addition in memorial services, as the old Egyptians accepted that there was a connection among gold and the divine beings, and surprisingly, the unfortunate who didn't claim gold were going to the production of. The burial place of Tutankhamun is the biggest burial place of gold in Egypt, as it contains colossal measures of it. The cover or veil of Tutankhamun weighs 11 kilograms of gold, and the casket arrives at 110 kilograms of gold, which is viewed as the biggest and most costly piece of gold on the planet, and isn't esteemed for cash, notwithstanding its extraordinary archaeological worth. And it contains a serious level of purity. Only 2 burial chambers have been tracked down in Egypt, the burial place of Tutankhamun, and the burial chamber of the silver pharaoh in the city of San al-Hajar in Sharqiya Governorate, and we find that the main individuals who came to separate gold were the pharaohs, through unearthings in the eastern desert, the Red Ocean and Nubia, and they likewise succeeded in making it, so we observe that their gold had a strong presence. They were the ones who found it, made it, dressed it and etched it. However, they didn't love it. The pharaohs found gold since old times, as the old Egyptians found around 125 mines in the eastern desert, the Red Ocean and Nubia, and that implies the place where there is gold in Old Egyptian. The brilliant papyrus in the Turin Historical Center in Italy from the rule of Lord Seti I of the 19th line alludes to the mother lodes dissipated in the eastern desert. As progressive archaeological disclosures mirror the happiness regarding the old Egyptians with huge involvement with the field of prospecting for gold and extricating it from quartz veins, as well as their incredible involvement with the field of its production, and they utilized fire and backwoods made of porcelain to dissolve it. The perspectives found on the walls of antiquated Egyptian burial chambers show that the old Egyptians presented fire in the production of gold, and these perspectives portray laborers purifying metal in enormous clay vessels around which numerous specialists are blowing fire with long lines from the wilderness, the finishes of which are porcelain that doesn't copy, and afterward emptying gold in the wake of liquefying it into molds to make decorations. The underlying strategies utilized in the beginning phases of the old Egyptians were not in view of fire, but rather the diminutive people expected the exactness of creating ancient rarities, and the pharaohs made numerous things out of gold. What's more, about regardless of whether the pharaohs revered gold, Dr. Hussein Abdelbasser made sense of, the pharaohs didn't revere gold and blessed the brilliant variety, which represented the shade of the sun's beams, in light of the fact that its tone doesn't change over time. Gold making was perhaps of the main Egyptian art. Gold was related with burial service customs and convictions. Gold was utilized in the wonderful figures of the pharaohs. It was allotted to senior legislators. The pharaohs covered gold with them. Gold making was related with the antiquated Egyptians with the tenet of everlasting status. The motivations behind why the antiquated Egyptians utilized gold. 1. In the time of the pharaohs, gold was utilized for some imaginative, strict and political purposes, and the monetary and social success of antiquated Egypt assisted with carrying flourishing to the mining business and exchange gold. 2. Egypt is situated in a space plentiful in mineral assets, particularly in the eastern desert region, where there are numerous mother lodes, and the pharaohs involved cutting-edge innovation in mining, and they involved a ton of human and creature work in mining. 3. The gold mining industry added to the advancement of exchange and business trade with adjoining and far-off nations. And gold was utilized as a business money in business exchanges. Gold was additionally utilized in the production of decorations, adornments, strict and political instruments. It was utilized in the development of sanctuaries, pyramids, and illustrious burial places. 4. Gold was utilized in the production of enlivening and strict apparatuses, like pots, lights, puppets, and models. Gold was likewise utilized in the production of weapons and protection, and a few weapons and covering made of gold have been tracked down in the burial chambers of pharaonic lords and sovereigns. 5. Gold was utilized in the production of clinical and careful instruments. It was utilized for the assembling of needles, careful cinches, estimating and analytic instruments. A portion of these devices were gold-plated to keep away from disease. 6. Gold in the Old Egyptian development is viewed as an image of time everlasting and eternality, and was utilized in the production of strict and political items, like scarves, armbands, rings, crowns, studs, neckbands, and wizardry wands. Gold was utilized in the production of caskets of lords and sovereigns. It was put on carcasses and burial chambers as an image of timeless life. 7. The utilization of gold for these reasons helped in the improvement of the gold business in Old Egypt, and the advancement of the Old Egyptian civilization as a rich and high-level civilization in the fields of craftsmanship, science, and innovation. Gold is a significant social legacy in Old Egypt. Current civic establishments actually value its worth and excellence right up to the present day. They donned gold at their feet. Especially rehearsed by the old Egyptians for a weird reason, gold in the old Egyptian human progress was related with abundance and influence. It was a self-important image that embellished the groups of the pharaohs, yet the utilization of gold was not restricted to gems and enhancement, but rather its wearing reached out to the feet in a peculiar custom. That the old Egyptians donned gold on their feet was a typical practice, which appeared as enrichments known as anklets, today made of gold, yet differentiated to incorporate different metals like bronze and copper, epitomizing the lavishness of an old civilization and its imagination in different fields. This talisman is remarkably planned, appearing as a bird's head that looks like Horus or cobra's facial hair. 2 conspicuous images in the Old Egyptian development. The old Egyptians accepted that this ornament was utilized as an image of insurance, since gold has mysterious properties, drives away underhanded spirits and safeguards against illnesses, protects the well-being of the feet. Pharaonic civilization and gold mining. At the front of civilizations, which gave gold its ongoing engaging quality, is the pharaonic human progress, and it was behind the connection of the old Egyptian development to metal, the accessibility of gold in Egypt. The Egyptians presented it with small archaeological sculptures and utilized gold with engravings on the walls, and gold pieces are as yet settled today in burial places, which have not yet been found going with preserved carcasses, and among Egyptian and global exhibition halls. The pharaohs zeroed in on the utilization of red gold, which is an electrum combination, during which gold is blended in with 20% of silver, and they involved it in the production of sculptures and imaginative and gold curios, and they likewise moved away totally from refining gold, since it doesn't require more refinement. From here the old Egyptians started to be connected to gold. In the wake of utilizing it with sculptures, it before long moved to human expressions of making adornments, enhancing devices and attire for men and women. There were many pictures of gold enterprises, and the upper covers of the final resting places of rulers and aristocrats were made of the material, and each casket was engraved and encrusted with valuable stones. Concerning the final resting place making material, it fluctuates between wood or stone. And for senior legislators, gold or silver is used to mirror the endowments of the god Ra on their unfading bodies and spirits, as per their convictions. The people of yore didn't neglect covering the essence of the departed with funerary veils of gold, which are covers for the face enveloped by cloth, and the assembling of the cover and its unrefined components varied in view of the height of the proprietor of the face and his status in the state, so the utilization of gold in covers was restricted to the affluent and the privileged. Those covers started the historical backdrop of their utilization since before the dynastic period. One of the most striking instances of brilliant veils is the channel of the pharaonic ruler of the 18th tradition, Tutankhamun, and his veil, which covers his face inside the verifiable stone casket, weighs around 11,000 kilograms of unadulterated gold. The pharaohs kept on involving gold for communicating their connection to their divine beings and rulers. However, utilizing gold didn't saturate daily existence, whether in that frame of mind of coins or a metal substance circling among producers, yet rather a sign of spiritual power. In spite of the thickness of pharaonic gold landmarks, among political and individual possessions and burial places, however, the paces of the people of old utilization of gold didn't top the rundown of the most gold-utilizing developments. The volume of their utilization is assessed at about a lot of gold each year, contrasted with the utilization of the Roman civilization 1,400 tons each year, which shows that the Roman progress was partial to gold to a more noteworthy degree than the pharaohs.